Stainless steel grain blending test is ready to go. I'm going to do this. And okay, so looks like it grounded pretty nicely. So let's see what this gives. I may have to edit this video. There we are. Oh, that's pretty good. Okay. So there we go. So you can see it's still kind of coarse, but it's ground up pretty nicely. This, by the way, is grinding up white bean fragments. I'd started these in a food mill, and then my food mill fell apart. And actually, yeah, this isn't too bad. It's a bit warm, but this is actually pretty close to usable. So I think I'll give it another go. All right, I'll give it another 30-second run. Okay. And how is this now? Okay, so some of it's still a bit coarse, but a little bit is coarse, but it's actually, this is pretty close to just, this is pretty close to flour that I could use. So it's hot, or it's not hot, but it's definitely quite warm. Yeah, so it's quite warm, but it's pretty close to flour that I can use. I'm not sure if this would, since I ground this from these kind of half ground beans, I'm not sure if I would need to blend it longer to get it to be really fine, but it does look usable at least. And most likely what I would do in that case is just run and then leave it for however long to cool down, and then run it again, and then grind it up to avoid it getting too hot. So yeah, the stainless steel container does work pretty nicely as a grain mill, at least in one use. And that's it for this video. I'm going to do oats in the stainless steel container, and I've already done a load of these. Oats, if you grind foods, you probably know are easier to grind up than beans are. So these, it turns out, take very, very fast. And the blender does quite a nice job with them. So let's just hit that. Set it to 1. Set it to 1. Okay, you can hopefully tell this is grinding up really, really quick. I leave it in here for 30 minutes and it's doing it very, very fast. Okay, well that one was a bit different because built up in this big pile here, and this I think is where I want to use the tamper. The only problem with my tamper is that it's in the sink, so it's a bit wet. So I think I'll knock it all down a bit. Let's see, that's still pretty good. It's slightly flaky, but it's not too bad. All right. So I'll give it a little bit more. that's probably not improving it all that much. So let's see what we got here. Pretty warm, but yeah, that's a pretty good... Yeah, that's a pretty good collection of oat flour. So, okay, there we go. Those are my 2 videos for grinding grains in a stainless steel container with a wet blade. General summary is it does work. It is quite loud, especially the beans were loud, and probably any other hard grain is going to be loud, but it does do the job, and it can do it about as well as the food mill that I used to have, which was a cheap model from Amazon. So that's it for this video.